I have no idea how Ultimate is able to achieve this. We spend the most time trying to fix the key. Okay, Mr. Chris. The next scene was a podcast slash live stream discussion panel bit, and again showcasing the wide range of projects that we can do in here, because we have a switcher, a Blackmagic Constellation 4K, that allows us to switch multiple 4K cameras, switch the feed from one to the other, and then from there we have a 4K broadcast device from Blackmagic that allows us to live stream to Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, and whatever other platforms. So we have the capability in the studio, so we wanted to showcase that. That's why we had the live stream sign in on the TV in the background in the virtual environment. Now, disclaimer, this wasn't live. We didn't actually go live. This was recorded, but we do have the capability, so it wouldn't have been difficult to basically have that signal sent to the live switcher and then broadcast that program out, that feed to whatever other platform we needed to. This was a tough shoot as well, but from a completely different reason. Mainly because still, again, everything that we shot in log, because of the other problem that I mentioned with shooting and having key and composite in log, which was bounce. Basically, green screen spill / bounce. We had 3 chairs and we had our talent very close to the floor, and we had nothing on the floor. It was just a green stage. Because of that, we were getting a flood of green on the talent and on the chairs and everything. We tried to suppress it as much as we could in the color grading panel with the Ultimate. So we were working on fixing some of the spill in the Ultimate, and then we've done some of that in the color boxes by going to the hex colors and just decreasing significantly the greens and pushing them towards a different color to kind of like hide away some of that green. Now, because this was the composited footage, that affected the background as well. So there's some plants in that studio that we got that, again, is from the marketplace. It was preset. We didn't build anything from scratch in terms of virtual sets. It had some plants / trees. The green was a lot more intense, but because of the changes that we've done in order to suppress the green on the talent, we've decreased the intensity of that green, and the green got darker, which didn't really matter for that specific scene. If you have a customer and they come with the environment and they have certain colors in that environment, you wouldn't be able to get away with that. So keying green screen and doing it in log, you have to be aware that you're probably gonna get spill, unless you're doing something like this where, let's say, the ground doesn't matter and you're boxing your talent with flags so that your talent doesn't get that green, or you're pushing them outside the green screen so that you don't get that level of spill. Then in that situation, you might be fine to do log. But again, when you're doing a high-end shoot, you can't get away with modifying the background color tone too much. For us, again, spec shoot, it was different. But even with all of that, we still had, and you can see it in the spec, in the video, there was still green spill. It also added to that because what we wanted to do was to really showcase the ground effect. So the fact that you have objects and individuals on the ground and you can see their shadows in the virtual world. So what we've done was we put a massive spotlight, I think in one of those on this side, and then we just blasted the spotlight in the direction with a larger radius in the direction of the talent discussion panel people. And that has produced 2 things. One, they got nice rim lights, which was pretty awesome. But 2, you got this light that was coming from the back and spreading a bit on the ground, and these shadows from these 3 chairs and individuals just spreading towards the front. And again, because that light was and those shadows were semi-transparent, the green was removed, then you wind up having this amazing transition from the foreground to the virtual floor that's enhanced and immersed with these realistic shadows and the type of shadows that you would see in a studio like that, kind of like broadcasty TV like studio. But that again, that added to the whole green just flooding everywhere, because we're bouncing a lot of light and pushing a lot of green upwards. So this was also quite new for us, because it was the first time we were doing a full body shot like this, where you'd see the feet and the objects touching the virtual world, and we were also having a wider angle and panning the camera, moving the camera around, so you can see the background parallax effect happening, as well as the ground moving, the chair and the legs moving in tune. Now there was a slight delay, but it's unnoticeable unless you're really looking for it. So this shot turned out great, and this shot broke the internet. In a sense, we got quite a lot of attention on this specific shot because it was so well made and it looked so realistic, due to the fact that they're sitting down, and it really looks like they're sitting down in that studio. So we got a lot of praise for this specific shot. Although it was cumbersome on set, it was as difficult, to be honest, as the previous one with the hair with the fringe, but this from a completely different reason, which was the amount of spill that was happening. But this was the most appreciated shot out of all of them. Similar as with the previous one, what I would have probably done different was just not to shoot it in log. It's the same thing. This is a kind of like a broadcasty event podcast type of setup. You don't need color grading per se. You'd be super okay with the regular Rec 709, and then we would have probably had our stress cut down, because you wouldn't get that much spill when you